Hi everybody, this is Jean-Paul from the band Clutch, and we are on tour right now for our latest record, Psychic Warfare. Today we are in beautiful Chicago at the House of Blues. Maybe my favorite House of Blues next to the one in New Orleans. This is the drum kit I'm playing on this tour. These drums are Gretsch USA Customs. The bass drum is 16 by 26. Floor tom 16 by 16, tom 10 by 14. The tom is, as you can see, a red sparkle, and that's actually off of a different Gretsch USA custom kit that I have back at the warehouse. I swapped out the 13 that came with this kit for the 14 on this tour, and I've been enjoying it very much. It's got just a little bit more beef to it, a little bit more volume, so it's working for now. I've been playing Gretsch drums now for about 5 years. Prior to that, I was playing some vintage Slingerland drums that I liked very much. The Gretsch drums definitely project a lot more. The shells themselves, because they have maple in them, are louder and a little bit boomier than the Slingerlands were. The Slingerlands were mahogany shelled, and so they tended to be a little bit slower sounding, a little bit deeper. And I love the sound of those drums. For now, these really seem to be able to project above the band and the music. They have a very musical quality about them, and they're loud too, more than anything. The snare drum is Gretsch 4160 chrome over brass. So this is a 5.5 by 14 inch drum. Very much a fan of chrome over brass shells. They have sort of a little bit softer kind of a tone. I think maybe a little closer to what you might hear in a wood shell, but still having that metallic sort of presence that is great for this setting. The snares are wide snares. I think we've got maybe 21 strand snares on there. Seems to work pretty well with this drum. We've swapped out the plastic strips for strings and kind of went more old school style. That's really the only difference between this drum and my backup drum, which is this drum right here. Exact same drum, but on this one we have the plastic straps. And I feel like there's quite a difference really in the sound. I think the strings are a little bit more dynamic. They give a little bit more for the snares. I think there's a little bit more elasticity there. And although the difference is very, very small, it kind of makes this drum a little bit more fun to play. And I keep them tuned up pretty tight. And that goes with all the tuning around the drums. I tend to tune the drums just a little bit higher than maybe most folks do in this kind of rock and roll setting. It's got kind of a more vintage kind of a tune to it. All the heads are Evans heads. On the tom-toms and on the snare drum we have coated G2s. They're very durable, they sound great. I don't use any extra muffling at all. I like to have the drums sort of be able to speak, and depending on how you hit them, that's how you can control the sound, you know. On the bass drum we have a new head that Evans is doing now, a calf tone head, and I'm really digging that. It's a little bit kind of like maybe, you know, a calfskin head from back in the day, without the headache of having to tune the drum and dry the head out, you know, when it's really humid out. So you get that nice sort of round kind of a sound, and I feel like the top end is just a little bit more tamed down too, which I like. And that goes for both sides of the drum. I have a resonant calf tone on the front side of the drum, so that drum is sounding especially good right now. We've got DW pedals down here, the trusty old DW 9000. Great pedal. You know, I get them out of the box and I put them on the drum, and that's it. I don't adjust them. I don't mess around with the tension. I know a lot of folks spend a lot of time with stuff like that. I find it confusing, so I just use them just as they are right out of the box, and they're great. I've got a DW 3000 pedal over here. I went with the hi-hat that does not have the footplate on it because I feel like it plays a little better. I'm very much a fan of being able to get a lot of sounds out of the hi-hat, and I noticed that when I had the footplate and started moving my foot around, the hi-hat didn't play as nicely as I would have liked to. So this is kind of an older style design, but for me, I feel like it gives me the opportunity to get more sounds out of the hi-hat. And it's easier to play, and it's lighter weight too. You don't have to carry around so much. Cymbals are all Meinl Byzance series. Starting over here, we've got a 21-inch medium crash, 23-inch heavy ride. This ride's been around for quite some time now. I used it on Earth Rocker and Psychic Warfare. Really versatile cymbal. I'm especially a fan of the bell on this cymbal. That's a big part of the sound for me, especially in choruses. So it's good to have a cymbal that really cuts. But you can open it up and it doesn't get too washy. Still plenty of definition in the mid parts here, which is nice. Over here, we've got a 20-inch vintage crash. This is a little lighter than I usually use, but I like it quite a bit. It opens up fast. It's a drier kind of a cymbal, and I use this one on the recording as well. It records great. I have a 22-inch version of this cymbal at home, which I like even better, but it might be a little too slow for clutch, so I use that one on other gigs. And then I've got 15-inch vintage pure hi-hats. These are unlathed, so they kind of have a real earthy sort of tone to them. I still get a nice chick out of them, which for me is crucial. I spend a lot of time, keeping time on the hi-hat, so it's important to get that kind of a sound. And so they've been great. I've been playing those for about a year now. Sticks are Vader West Side series. I especially like the tips on these sticks. They're pretty keen, so you can get a lot of definition on the cymbal. That has so much to do with the sound, more than I think than I once realized. The tip really can change the tone of a cymbal and the tone of a drum too. If you just take a minute just to listen to what that sounds like, and then just for fun, spin the stick over. Totally different kind of a sound. So that's not to say that one is better than the other. I prefer to have a finer definition on the ride cymbal especially. So these sticks have been great. I've enjoyed playing these. They're pretty much a 5B, just with a little bit different tip on them. We got a butt kicker hooked up to the throne. That's a new thing for us. And we've got it dialed in pretty good right now. Sometimes, when we're on in-ears and you're on maybe a big stage or maybe an outdoor stage, you kind of miss that feeling of having that low end that happens, with the bass drum, that you can kind of feel that through your body. So we have a butt kicker put on there, and it's got a little speaker attached to the throne itself. And so every time I hit the bass drum, there's a little bit of a thump that comes through there, and that gives it a little bit more of a feeling of what it'd be like if you were, in a more enclosed environment. And it makes it fun to play. We've been playing with in-ears now for about 5 years. Probably the best thing is having an excellent monitor engineer to help us with these every day, because if we didn't have that, I think they might be more trouble than they're worth. The consistency is amazing, and it's great too because at the end of the gig I don't have ringing in my ears quite as bad. It's sort of always there, but it's lessened with these. And the mix is super consistent from night to night, so that just makes it much easier to concentrate on playing and not so concerned about the other aspects of it that go on in making the show. Well, thanks for spending some time with me today. Go see Clutch next time we come to town. Check out our latest record, Psychic Warfare, and go to our website, prorock.com. We do Facebook and we do Twitter and all that stuff as well. So come see the band sometime.